A lot of you have been asking me to meal prep Vietnamese food, and this episode's for you. Vietnamese food is actually one of the easiest cuisines to meal prep, especially when you use a slow cooker. You can set it, forget it, and come back to the food that tastes better all week long. This whole series is about showing how Vietnamese meal prep fits real life, one slow cooker dish at a time. This episode is brought to you by Daniel Nguyen from Bellevue, who wanted to send a quiet thank you to his parents for always making sure there was food on the table, even when things were uncertain. He says cooking Vietnamese food now is his way of carrying that care forward into his own life. If you would like to sponsor an episode, the cost is $300. I'll leave my Venmo on the screen right now. And Daniel, thank you for sponsoring this episode. Now, time to make thịt kho trứng in a slow cooker. Let's get started by prepping the pork belly. This pork belly is from T&T Market here in Bellevue. All right, let's start off by placing a towel on the bottom of my work surface, putting my cutting board on top of that, and I'm gonna start cutting this beautiful pork belly. So the pork belly today I bought at T&T Market has a great fat to meat ratio. You can see that they still kept the skin on over here, and there's great marbling in this pork. I'm gonna start cutting this pork belly down into more easy to eat chunks. What I wanna do is I wanna cut about 2-inch pieces. Now, if you don't know what 2 inches looks like, use your finger. Each of these segments equal to be roughly about 1 inch. So use your finger, measure it out, and then about right here, don't get your finger off, is 2 inches. Now this is what you want your pork belly to look like. Nice, even-sized rectangles, squares. That's a square, right? That's a square. We're gonna continue on. If you don't wanna keep doing this process of using your finger, what you also can do is use this as a guide so that every piece is equal. I'll do the same thing over here. You see this beautiful pork belly, skin on, great marbling. What I'll do then is I will take that first piece that I cut, I'll use that as a guide, and I'll just work my way down along this piece of pork belly. To me, it's important to have pieces that are similar in size because then the cooking becomes equal. Nobody fights over pieces of pork belly saying, I got too little, I got too much. And this really takes the guesswork out of cooking. So as you see here, we have our pork belly already cut. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 good-sized pieces of pork belly. Bigger chunks of pork belly stay juicy. They don't dry out by day 3, and they hold their shape for meal prep. Next, you're gonna wanna do a quick rinse of the pork belly. This is not necessary, but we're gonna give a quick rinse to the pork belly under cold water. And then since we're here and we touched raw pork, make sure you wash your hands. Guys, I can't emphasize enough about washing your hands after you're touching raw meats. All right, while the pork belly is draining in the sink, the next thing is gonna be aromatics. All right, on the plate you have 1 shallot, a knob of ginger, and a head of garlic. We'll start off with 20 grams of garlic. You know me, I love measuring when I cook. 24, 20. Perfect. So for the garlic, you don't actually want to mince this up. You just want to smash it. I'm gonna take the cloves. I'm gonna do a quick smash to take the peel off. And that's it. For those of you who are buying peeled garlic already, why? It's so much easier just to buy the whole head and then smash it with a chef's knife. All right, next comes the ginger. We need 20 grams of ginger. And for the ginger, I'm gonna slice these into coins. You're looking for coins in this size and this width. I add that to my garlic. And then finally, 100 grams of shallots. For the shallot, just like an onion, head, tail, we're gonna slice this down. We're gonna peel this shallot And for the shallot, the peel is really thin, so I just took the first layer off. Of course, that's me being cheap. So I'm gonna slice the shallot down, and we're gonna thinly slice the shallot. You're looking for slices that thick, then we're gonna add it to the rest of the aromatics. We'll do it once again. And again, you're not trying to race anyone. You're just trying to keep all your fingers. Aromatics go into yesterday's pho container. And there you have it, garlic, ginger, and shallots. It's a little bit too low. All right, next, the whole spices. What I have here is 1 star anise, 2 cloves, and a small piece of cassia cinnamon. These are the background flavors. They warm the dish without taking over. And finally, the braising liquid. Well, this is just a container. What I'm putting in here will be the braising liquid. All right, pull out my trusty scale. We're gonna start off with 45 grams of fish sauce. All right, 45 grams. Next, we're gonna do 6 grams of Chinese sugar caramel. And finally, 3 grams of freshly cracked black pepper. Next, we're gonna add in 355 milliliters of Coco Rico. I'm gonna pour this coconut soda into the container. And then finally, 250 milliliters of water. All right, it's time to add all the ingredients into the slow cooker. We're gonna start by adding the pork belly into the slow cooker. All right, we're gonna get the pork belly. We're gonna place it into the slow cooker. Give the pork belly enough room. We definitely don't want to overcrowd. Come here. We definitely don't want to overcrowd the slow cooker. There's plenty of space here. This meal is going to make your life so easy. Whenever you crave Vietnamese food, you're not going to want to order takeout. It's perfect. Oh, 2 pounds really fit perfectly. Either I'm a genius or I got really lucky there. All right, next the aromatics go in. Remember, this is shallots, garlic, and ginger right over the top. And then finally, the braising liquid. So remember, the braising liquid consists of fish sauce, Coco Rico, black pepper, and the caramel sauce. I'm gonna pour that right over the top. And you'll see that the braising liquid comes right to the top of the pork belly. I almost forgot the spices. And these spices go right in. Lid goes on. From here, this becomes a true slow cooked meal prep. Set it on high for 5 hours if you're short on time. You walk away. The slow cooker does the rest. This is why I like Vietnamese food for meal prep. It's patient food. It doesn't rush you. Growing up around Vietnamese cooking, in the background, doing their thing, you didn't babysit them. You trusted them. That same idea works perfectly with a slow cooker. You set it up once, you go live your life. And the food is ready when you need it. Pork belly's been cooking about 4 hours. I'm gonna check it out right now. The pork belly looks great. It's been braised down. It looks soft. But one thing we forgot is the eggs. Well, I wouldn't say we forgot. We haven't cooked them yet. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna boil these eggs for 9 minutes and then peel them and then add it to the braise for the last hour. I don't know how you cook your eggs. Let's not cook my eggs. 6 eggs go into a pot. I then add water to the pot. Then put the pot on the stove. Set this to medium-high heat. Eggs have been cooking beautifully. I'm gonna turn off the heat here. I'm gonna put these eggs into the sink, into a colander. Oh, it's beautiful. So beautiful that I got some steam. I'm now gonna run cold water over the eggs so that they'll be easier to crack. I'll let the eggs sit in here for a few minutes and then crack them. All right, the eggs have been cooled down. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to give this a little crack. And I'm gonna run my spoon under the egg. What's gonna do is gonna lift beautifully. Beautiful. Then I'm gonna run my spoon underneath the shell under cold water. So have the water running gently, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna let the spoon crack, and there you have it, a beautiful egg. We'll do it once again. We're gonna tap the eggshell gently. We're gonna run the spoon underneath the shell. The shell should come right off. Let the water run. You're gonna get that spoon right under the shell. You're gonna pop that shell out, and then you got that beautiful egg. I'm gonna throw these back into the crock pot for the remaining hour. I'll put the eggs in. Oh, the smell in here is amazing. We're gonna set the lid in here for 1 more hour, and I'll see you in 60 minutes. Oh, one more thing. I have a very zero waste policy. So those eggshells, don't throw them into the trash can. No, do this trick instead. So I take the eggshells and I stuff them down the garbage disposal. Then I'll let the garbage disposal run. And those shells will then sharpen the blades in the garbage disposal. When I mean zero waste policy, I truly mean a zero waste policy. All right, it's been 5 hours that the pork belly's been braising. We're gonna give it a little taste to adjust the seasoning. See if it needs a little bit more. Is
that a blooper?
No, that's me. That's me trying to do YouTube. What?
Sounds like a blooper.
Really? All right, we're gonna open this lid up and taste this braising liquid. That's gonna be hot, be careful. Sweet, savory, but it still needs a little bit more fish sauce. Some of you like to eat your tikka or your braised pork belly quite mild. I, on the other hand, like a lot of punch and umami-ness. I'm gonna start off by adding 5 grams of fish sauce, and from there, see how much more I need to add. Never mind. Let's do 20 grams each time, as I find that 5 grams is nothing. Okay, so 20 grams, we're gonna put that in. We're going to taste it one more time and see what the sauce tastes like. 20 is still not enough. We'll do another 20. Actually, we'll do 10 this time around. And then we'll see how that tastes. Remember, you can always add, but you can't subtract. All right, we're gonna taste. Now this is 30 grams of fish sauce. It's there, but you can go for another 10. Let's go 10 more. Again, this is really to your preference, but my preference is definitely, I love that umami. All right, so we're looking at a total of 40 grams of fish sauce that went in. Again, at the very end, it's not about putting it at the beginning, it's about seasoning and retasting this. I'm gonna go for 10 more grams. So 50 grams. Listen, if you do not like a very savory, braised pork belly, please don't add as much as I do, but it's perfectly fine if you definitely do like a little more flavor in that braising liquid to pour over rice. Oh, this is gonna be amazing. All right, let's try this sauce one more time. Yeah, that's perfect. So 50 grams of fish sauce after the 5-hour braise. All right, the rice is just finished. Look at that beautiful rice here. And we're gonna make a bowl of rice for this guy, my nephew. We're gonna grab some rice into this bowl. That is about the right size. All right, then we're gonna scoop out some beautiful pork belly. All right, we're gonna get probably 2 nice sized pieces here. We'll put them right on top. We'll get an egg. We'll put that to the side here. And then we'll scoop up some of this beautiful braising liquid and put it right over the top.
Kind of looks like the sauce to me.
That's right. All right. Now, I'm gonna put this microphone on you, okay? Get your spoon.
I can't forget about my napkin too.
Okay. Hold on. I need to make sure you're in frame here. All right. I want you to try this braised pork belly and tell me what you think. Now remember, it's really hot, so please be careful.
I know it's completely hot and so. Rice is so good. I really like the pork belly and the egg one is very, very delicious. This is so delicious. I'll rate this 10 out of 10.
Okay.
So yeah, I like it, and that's a cooking for a superstar.
This batch makes about 5 or 6 solid servings. Per serving, you're looking at roughly 700 calories, 40 grams of protein, 48 grams of fat, and 20 grams of carbs. That's filling foods. It'll hold you over. You're not snacking in an hour. This entire meal comes out to be $4.75 per serving. That's real Vietnamese food, cooked once, feeding you all week, without takeout prices. This is why slow cooker Vietnamese food meal prep works. You get comfort, you get value, you get consistency.
Oh my gosh.
What's that? What's wrong?
Nothing, just garlic bread.
If Vietnamese food was part of your life growing up, you already understand why this works. And if it's new to you, this is a good place to start. This whole series is about showing how Vietnamese food fits in real life, especially when you don't want to cook every day. If you got a dish that you grew up eating that you want to see turned into meal prep, let me know in the comments below. This is how this series keeps going. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below, comment your favorite Vietnamese meal prep dish, and I might just make it on the next episode. There's one thing that you can do to help me as a content creator make these amazing videos, and that is by pledging to the channel. You can pledge $1, $2, $5, $10, $20, $50, or even $100. I'll leave the QR code on the screen right about now, and consider pledging, because it's pledges like yours that keeps this little channel on YouTube alive and thriving. With that being said, my name is Calvin Bui, aka Captain Charisma. I will see you on the next episode of FKN Deliciousness.